this one tool that I'm going to be sharing on today's video has the power within it to help you break completely free from your negative thoughts. So whether you're someone who struggles with anxiety, you struggle with constant limiting beliefs and self-doubt, or you find yourself criticizing, judging, or complaining all the time, then make sure you stick around and watch the tools that I'm going to be sharing with you in this video, breaking down my favorite daily practice that helped me absolutely transform my mindset from a place of negativity, judgment, criticism, and quite honestly, a lot of self-hate as well as anxiety to bring me to the mindset I have now, which is just like free, a lot more peaceful, loving, and kind to myself. So make sure you stick around till the end also, because I'm going to be sharing an extra bonus that's going to help you as well if you're serious about doing this work and making these changes to your mindset really fast. So let's get started. Hey guys, welcome back to another video. My name is Kara Michelle and I'm here to help you live your truth. And living your truth means living free from the confines of a really crazy negative mind. So as someone who struggled with that kind of mindset and being in all the feels, all the overthinking, and all of those negative emotions for most of my life, probably until 25 was when it started to get better. And I would say like the last 2 years, so 27 was probably when it got really clear and I felt like I finally had like full control over it. And this one tool that I'm sharing with you today is actually like, it was one of the biggest catalysts for my growth in the mindset realm. And it's so powerful. And it's going to sound really easy to you, so I want to make sure that you understand why it works so that you're actually going to take it seriously and apply it every day. Because if you're someone who's just like scrolling and watching a few minutes and then you're like, I don't want to do this, or I'm not going to apply this, or it seems too simple or basic, then you might as well just stop watching right now because you're not going to find any changes that happen easy or happen without you actually making a conscious change. But this tool makes it so simple to do the work in a really fun way. And I think that's what helped me do it in my own life. So here we go. This practice, this one tool that I'm inviting you to do every single day if you want to break free from your negative thoughts, is related to a beautiful book I first read when I was in Bali doing just like a few months of yoga and meditation and really connecting to myself back in 2015. And it is I feel like I'm dropping so many ages and years and dates, and it's like my mind can't remember these things. I'm living in a world with no time usually. So all that aside, what you're gonna do is pick a bracelet. So this is called, it's from a book called A Complaint-Free World by Will Bowen. And as you can guess by the title, it's about complaining specifically. But what I loved about the tool that he shared in that book is that you can use it for any kind of negative thought pattern or really any kind of negative habit in general. And it really has the power to change your relationship to that habit or to those thoughts. So what you're gonna do, I personally have a nice little crystal bracelet because you know me, it's your girl. So you're gonna have a bracelet. You could use a hairband. To be honest, I used a hairband for a lot of this. You could use an elastic band, one of those rubber bracelets too, whatever you want, doesn't really matter. You could even use a ring if that's easier to switch it back and forth. If you are a dude, feel free to use an elastic band, a rubber band. I know some who actually just use their watch and even do that. It's a little bit harder to switch, but it still works. So you are going to pick the bracelet, and this is going to represent the negative thoughts or the negative habit that you want to change. So this could be specifically related to just anxiety when you're starting out, or it could be specifically to self-judgment. And every time you think a negative, judgmental, mean, hurtful thought towards yourself, you're going to use this. Or it could be related to a specific thing. If you find yourself always going down the rabbit hole relating to work or relating to money or relating to relationships, use this for that one specific thing. And you want to start with one, because if you try to go with all negative thoughts in general, it's going to be pretty overwhelming at the beginning, and then you might just be like too caught up in your thoughts to even remember to do this, and then you're going to be stuck. So we don't want that. We want you to find some success and some relief. So you're going to pick one thing, and I would love, if you're open to, please feel free to comment down below and share what it is you're going to use this bracelet for, what it is you're going to use this tool towards, whether that's anxiety or any of those specific beliefs that I mentioned before. So you're going to take the bracelet or band, and what you're going to do is you're going to have it on one wrist when you start the day. And so say for me, like for instance, when I first started using this tool in Bali, I wasn't complaining very much because I was in a really good place and living a very blessed life at the time and really just doing my healing and everything. So I didn't need to worry about stopping my complaining, but I had really horrible self-talk. So I noticed that every day when I'd wake up and I'd look at myself in the mirror getting ready for yoga, that I'd find things I didn't like about myself, and I'd be criticizing my body, my face, like everything that I brought into the world. I just didn't see anything positive about myself at that time, and I was just like really beating myself up. And so I decided, you know what, this is the time to work on my self-talk, my self-love, and my self-image. So I put on the bracelet, and every single time that I started to think or say a negative thing towards myself, or like I judge myself in front of the mirror, or my old thought patterns would happen, I would switch the bracelet to the other wrist. Okay? And then your goal is to go 21 days, 21 days, my friend, without having to switch the bracelet. And so every single time you switch, you would start back at day 1. So I'm going to write this down. 21-day challenge. Let me know in the comments, you guys, if you are excited that I'm back and that I've got my whiteboard, because I am so pumped. I'm so happy to be here. So why this works is because the subconscious and the unconscious, I'll just do that. So the negative thought or the judgment or the anxiety is something that's just unconscious. It's just become a habit, and it's just like playing out. It feels natural, it feels normal, it feels like you can't control it because it's coming from this place in your brain. Now, by switching the bracelet, you're creating a conscious awareness of the thought. So instead of getting pulled into this horrible negative place and believing it to be true, you're actually stopping the pattern midway. You're like bringing in your physical, your conscious awareness by switching the bracelet over. And in that place, you're now able to insert in a more positive thought. So for instance, if I was standing in the mirror criticizing something about myself, I would catch it and I'd be like, wait a minute, you're doing it again. This isn't a very nice thought. This isn't helping you. And I'd switch my bracelet over, and then it gave me the opportunity to think something different. And what's so powerful about this is that you start to become consciously aware of your mind and all of the thoughts that it's having every single day. And we have anywhere from like 60 to 70 to 80,000 thoughts a day. And most of those are unconscious. They're just habitual things running and pattern programming going on in the background. So by starting to create an awareness around it, you're able to start to shift into more positive thoughts. And that's the beauty of doing this work on your mind, because like I said, most of us are having really negative thoughts throughout the day, and we're having a lot of them. So you want to become aware of what's going on and what's playing out in your mind. And if this is something that you're really keen to learn more about, make sure you check out the link down below for my free mindset training, because in this training, I'm breaking down the exact 3-step process that I use to transform my mindset. and that I've helped hundreds of others use to reprogram their mind for success and for confidence. So make sure you check that out. The link is down below and it's in the comments as well, and it's going to help you so much if you're ready to really make drastic shifts to your mindset and to your life. So as you're doing this bracelet challenge, you're starting to become conscious of your day-to-day thoughts. And throughout the day, you're going to notice you're switching that bracelet a lot. I remember it was so annoying at the beginning, and I was really disheartened because I was constantly going back and forth. But it really made me realize not only how negative I was towards myself every day, but it also made me realize like how much better would I feel if these thoughts were positive? Because if I wasn't spending so much energy and focus on these negative things, my day would be beautiful, right? Instead of being interrupted by all these negative thoughts, I'd just be able to live my life and feel a lot more free, a lot more happy, and a lot more present. And that's what's so good about this, is that it's creating a really easy pattern interrupt. And you may or may not have heard all the gurus talk about this before. I mean, Tony Robbins talks about it all the time. Joe Dispenza, Wayne Dyer talked about it quite a bit. And it's really like, as the name suggests, interrupting the current pattern or the current train of thought. So if your mind's going down its normal path of I'm not good enough, or I'm ugly, or feeling anxious about something you said, or judging yourself, whatever the normal pattern is, the subconscious pattern that's just playing out, you want to interrupt that. So before it plays out fully and you end up way off down in that negative place, you're catching it by bringing your awareness to the bracelet, to the elastic band, and now you're interrupting that pattern and we can implant something new in. So it's like if you are driving somewhere, say you're driving down this road and you start to realize, wait a minute, this is not the road I want to be going down. Wouldn't it be nice to interrupt and realize that before you get to the destination? Instead of going fully to this really dark, negative, judgmental place and then being stuck there, you're now interrupting and you're catching it sooner, and you're going to be able to revert yourself back to a more positive direction. And now the more you do this, the easier it becomes, and the more you're actually creating new patterns. So you start to create positive patterns, and I can't even explain how powerful this is. Like, you have to try it in order to feel it, and you have to commit to it, because if you do it for 1 or 2 days and you just realize, oh my gosh, I'm changing the bracelet so much and this is never going to get better, and you give up, congratulations, you're still on the same pattern and you probably will be for a long time. So please give it a try and don't give up, because as you start to do that, I remember I got to like day 5, 5 days in a row without switching the bracelet. I was so excited and I'm like, yes, I can do this. And then all of a sudden I found myself judging, and one of those old patterns came in again, and I was criticizing myself. And boom, just like that, I was back to day 1. And it would have been so easy for me to give up at that point, but I had started to see the correlation between these negative thoughts and my general well-being and mood every single day. So it made it so much more worth it to continue to stick on the path and keep changing those patterns to create more positive ones. Let me just share with you why positive affirmations don't work. And I'll share another video on this again in the future. But just quickly, the reason you want to do this is because you're actually going to shift and work on completely stopping the old patterns. Whereas just saying positive affirmations tomorrow isn't actually doing anything to release your current beliefs. It's just like putting Band-Aid on top of something and hoping that it's going to get better. But we want to actually heal from the inside. We want to actually shift those patterns so those thoughts don't even come up anymore. And as you're doing this, because you're making these thoughts more conscious, when you switch the bracelet over, that is the perfect time to implement one positive thought instead. So for me, again, just going back to that example, so it's really easy and relatable, is like if I was criticizing my appearance, then at that time, I couldn't have just said a positive affirmation like, I'm beautiful, because I really didn't believe that. And I just thought the absolute opposite. So instead, I implemented a positive thought that I did believe, or positive affirmation, such as like, I really love that I'm a good person, or like, I really love my heart, and I really love how much I care about other people. And that was a feeling I could get behind that was positive, that still helped to build me up and keep my self-image focused on something positive and nice. So if you're not able to implement the exact opposite right away, the exact opposite belief, that's totally fine. You just want to start by creating that awareness, interrupting that pattern before it gets you down the rabbit hole and into a really deep spiral for the rest of your day, and implement something positive after. Positive affirmations before this stuff don't work. They're not going to stick. They're not going to last. That's why so many people get really disheartened, because they're like, I feel like I'm doing all these affirmations and nothing's changed. But it's because they haven't done the deeper work to shift those old beliefs and stop those old beliefs from even happening in the first place. So give this tool a try and you will see your life absolutely change. And make sure you come back to this video later and let me know how it works for you, and share your experiences, share them with everyone, because this tool, like I said at the beginning, it might sound simple, but it absolutely has the power to change all of your beliefs. You can use this for anything. So start with one focus, do this work, catch them, switch the bracelet, interrupt those patterns and focus on something more positive before you go down into that rabbit hole. And then after you notice that you're starting to feel better with that specific thought or that pattern, now you can start doing it with a few more. And you can make this bracelet it's on this wrist. Just kidding. You can make that bracelet become your tool for all of your positive thoughts. So anytime you catch anything that's now limiting or negative or making you feel down, you're gonna switch the bracelet, and you're just constantly reprogramming your subconscious mind to think better thoughts and to not give all of its power away to these old negative and limiting ones. So if you found this video helpful, please make sure to give it a thumbs up. Please feel free to share as well. Share with friends or family or anyone you know who's struggling with negative thoughts or insecurities or anxiety, self-doubt, all of that BS in our belief system that keeps us stuck. Please feel free to share it, and if you haven't already, please hit the subscribe button. Make sure you stick around so you are notified when I release new videos. And like I said, I'd love to hear from you, so please make sure you comment and share your experience from this bracelet challenge down below, and watch your mindset and your life absolutely change as you do this. So thanks so much for watching. I'll see you on the next video.